All right. Well, so today's the day, the 19th of March. The
Yeah,
single Young Mouth Blues dropped, and I've
congrats.
already fussed over your thanks, man. I've already fussed to you in your text, and I'll apparently be repeating some of that. But man, you added so much to that song.
Hey, great. Well, I'm happy you liked it, man. I'm happy you liked it. Uh, I I work with about 10 guys, and we do studio stuff all day long. So I have 5 guys that are in each of these little bitty rooms at work, and we're producing content all day. But most of the time, I'm not getting to hold an instrument in my hands. It's all just kind of thinking with your brain, and then bringing other people in for sessions. So I was really happy you asked me, because I got to go and do something different. So
That's really awesome. So I had an idea. I don't know that it's gonna work. Hopefully it will work some, but I
okay.
have the track here, and I was just gonna like listen to a little bit of it,
Yeah,
and if it won't be taxing
yeah,
or
no,
gratuitous, I'll pause it every time I have a mind to say something.
okay,
And if
yeah,
you have any thoughts, you can jump in too. So I
yeah,
fast forwarded a little bit. It's around 17, and it'll go into the singing,
yeah,
and then you come in with your goodness.
yeah.
Should have been my time. Let the kid go. Just let him be. Let him grow. Hey, I'm here. I'm here. And this coffee's black. Cup is turning. So the way it comes in, and I'm just admitting to everybody who gets to see this and to you at the moment, I'm not familiar with how to do it, so it's new to me. But there's something about the speed. It kind of slides in. Of course, it's a slide guitar. What do we call this on acoustic guitar? Just slide.
Well, you wanted me to do dobro, but actually, like, I needed some cash like a year ago, so I had to sell my dobro. And so when you
Ah,
asked me to do that, I got another guitar, and then I raised the action on it. And I think that song, is it an open G? Is that
oh, you're
or is it
asking me
a
about the
G?
key.
Is a G tuning?
Uh,
Yeah, I think, so for every song I did for you, I would put the open tuning in a different key to try to match up with the song, so that we could
that
do
is in
like,
G. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so that we could do like some open string kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, it slides in slow, and I like how it does because it's like boom,
Yeah,
it like slides into where it's going, and I love it too. That was awesome.
yeah.
I don't get to hang out with people and geek out too much, but this is perfect.
Well, I
Um,
think what we were trying to do with that, who was playing guitar? Were you playing guitar?
that's me. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, your guitar playing is so melodic. So you have a melodic style, along with carrying the rhythm. So it's really cool. So I didn't want to overstep anything. And so on that song, I was trying to think, and even like from a register, from a musical range, you were kind of up higher. So I wanted to start out coming in really low to complement what you were doing. And I also was trying not to step on the vocals, and their musical range. And so that just felt like kind of the spot to start it. Yeah.
absolutely. It's very successful, and it's funny. I'm just now taking my first 2 guitar lessons.
Yeah, who are you
Um,
taking from?
Alan Barlow.
Yeah, I know Alan. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Today I had my second lesson on Zoom, like what we're doing here, and I'm learning stuff that I just never learned. I'm my former father-in-law taught me how to do the alternating bass.
Yeah, the Travis picking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I think when I got into that, Mississippi John Hurt was one of my favorites. So my style probably is very similar to his, but I don't know how to tell people what key I'm playing in, and unfortunately, I think that's going to limit me, and I don't want to be limited. I want to be able to talk like what we're talking and and understand what's going on. But meanwhile, it's really cool too, though, because you know what you're doing and everything you said about the low end coming in. The place to come in on that was very successful, and for people who get to watch this, I'll just say it's interesting interacting with people who know what they're doing. All I hear is it works very well, and I have no imagination for how to say why. It works very well, and I'm incredibly proud of it.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's great. No, I think for musicians that are, they're starting out and want to get into kind of the session player feel, there's just so much listening that's involved. And when I was a younger musician, I was so concerned about what I could add to something and, look at this is going to be really cool. But now the older you get, you really just want to listen to what's there. And then try to accent that. And so on your guitar, I heard that musical line, boom, ding, 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 ding. So I was really trying to lock in to that, because you already had the thumb bass going, you had your melody going, and then you had your vocal melody going. So you didn't really want to think about another melody to introduce. So I was just trying to just really lock in with what was happening. So yeah.
absolutely. We'll come back to this guy. Well, a young man says, take it up for granted, eating fruit, have not plenty, here after you. This stone and blood, so it's all turning to. Yeah, he did lock into that. There's this thing you do where it steps. You went da 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 da. It was like a step down.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Do you mind telling me, like, what is that? Is there anything to call that besides having fun?
Well, I think there's 3 breaks on the song, or 3 little solo sections. And so I was trying to figure out how to develop each section. So we started low, and then this is the mid section, and then the next one is the high section to try to create momentum. And then the female that was singing on that was kind of repeating your line or adding something to it. So again, on that verse, I was trying to be really careful not to step on anything. But so I was kind of interplaying with her on that verse. So she'd sing a line, and then I'd try to slide off on it, and she'd sing another line, and I'd try to complement that. But when it came into the solo section, I think I was just thinking a mid-register part that started out with locking in with you and your cool, really cool guitar melody, but then just adding not giving away too much, but just kind of keeping the song moving. And on that slide down, I think because they're those, you're in the key of G, and those are kind of the open G strings, you can just kind of slide down in sections. So I think it was just, starting up maybe on like the 12th fret and just hitting a couple different places of that G chord.
Right. Man, it's so fun to hear what you're saying about this stuff, because like, again, I know in my mind, sometimes when a song really captures me or something's happening, it even though there's not words sometimes for parts, it sounds conversational and it sounds playful. And the way that you just described that really, really paints that picture. And we'll hear in just a little bit, and everybody else joining and watching, or eventually getting to see this video of our exchange, that build up makes a lot of sense, because by the end, it's like an all out, like, I don't know, man, it just rocks out.
Yeah. Yeah. You try to save a little gas for the end, again, when I was younger, you want to throw everything in right at the jump, and then people are tired of it. So, I was kind of asking myself, do you take a rhythmic approach or do you take a melodic approach to that? And so on the first break, where it was in the lower register, I was thinking more rhythmic. And then the second break, I was just thinking I wanted to basically do the same thing with a little bit more. And then on the third break, the fireworks of the song, I was just trying to give you something that was in a higher register, but still wasn't going to step on your vocal lines. So it's kind of like the opposite of what we did in the first break. So in the first break, your guitar, like the musical space that you're taking up. So if this is like bass guitar and this is like a soprano singer or something, your guitar was kind of here. So in the first break, I kind of wanted to stay lower. And then on the second break, I kind of wanted to lock in with you. And on the third break, I still didn't want to get in your way, but I wanted to be on the other end of the spectrum, which was higher, to create the opposite amount of contrast.
Oh, that's good. And contrast achieved, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'll quit smacking on the back in a little bit. I appreciate this.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, get on the train, going down line, in the field, stretch my mind, and I'm chained. This field is a ride, riding here turning. Oh my gosh. So I don't know why it catches me. I know it now, but it still catches me with joy. It really does, the way that works out. Because it going on the high end, like you're saying, comes in. I don't know. I almost can hear someone nodding their head. Just like,
well, that's what I was thinking. So you've got the offbeats, dot, 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 and so I was trying to play around that rhythmically to make that, to make that happen. So yeah.
It's
man.
So cool. And in doing, I really wanted to, I was doing a little bit of extra bang, bounce, 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 bounce on that at the end. And, Carter did got all the claps in and whatnot. And I think it's really cool too, because it goes from a solo. It's kind of like a solo at that point. And again, the way you did it doesn't take away from the overall what's going on. It doesn't concert with it. It doesn't take the attention away. It really adds to it. But it moves. You move from that solo part that you're playing back into the main rhythm, and it does like down one good time, and then the song ends. It was like a beautiful contrast between something of a lead, remembering the main melody of the song and the rhythm, and then the song finishes.
It's the same thing with like so in jazz music, they'll take, you're looking at the the song, the sheet of paper, and they have what's called the head, and that's the melody that keeps coming back every time. So they do a head, and then you do a solo, and then you do a head again, and the next person takes a solo, and it's almost like bookends. So you started the song with that riff, and you ended the song with that kind of head melody, and so we're just restating that, and it should add emphasis to the song at the end if you do it right. So yeah,
man. And being just enjoying this and being frivolous, there's instrumental music I listen to that improvises on a theme like that, and I don't know why it's worked this way in me, but it's been like a conversation. Whenever I see you take a theme and you hold it to one light and then you improvise it in another light, it kind of is, it reveals things in me for whatever reason. It's just the way that good conversations feel. Like I'm able to think about something. I'm able to think about that thing in a different way. And then by the time you come to the end, I just see a little bit more clearly because of having had the conversation. And of course, I hope that anything I'm putting out there with my music, because I'm using it to process myself,
Mm-hmm.
will reflect that.